A new interstellar body 100 times more massive and luminous than 3I/ATLAS has just been discovered. Even more alarmingly, it is on a direct course toward the Sun. The initial detection was made by an instrument aboard the SOHO observatory. 2 days later, Australian comet specialist Michael Mattiazzo captured an image that sends a chill down the spine. The object's tail stretches 2.5 degrees, equivalent to the width of 5 full moons, completely overshadowing the faint trace of 3I/A/TLAS. The object received its official designation from the International Astronomical Union, C/2025 R2, SWAN, previously known as SWAN-25b. This announcement resonated like a detonation. If 3I/ATLAS had already caused a shockwave in the scientific community, the appearance of SWAN-R2 is a phenomenon of a different magnitude and far stranger nature, posing fundamental questions. What is truly happening in our solar system? Are we observing a second reconnaissance platform, a relay, or something that defies all existing frameworks? Initially, Avi Loeb and his colleagues hypothesized that the object could be a fragment that broke away from 3I/ATLAS, a piece of icy debris or even a probe launched by a technological carrier ship lurking in the depths of space. However, senior researcher Peter Varish confirmed a more disturbing fact. Their paths are different. Swan is arriving from the constellation Aquarius, while 3I/ATLAS comes from Sagittarius near the galactic center. And yet their trajectories converged almost simultaneously at the Sun, as if guided by the universe itself. Both objects will reach perihelion practically in sync. Swan will pass at a distance of 150 million kilometers, Atlas at 203 million kilometers. The mere 53 million kilometer gap is shrinking with each passing day. But there is something even more disquieting. Both bodies will simultaneously disappear behind the solar disk, vanishing from the view of all Earth-based telescopes and sensors. Two interstellar wanderers on intersecting courses, a single rendezvous with a star, and a complete lack of control over the consequences. Comparison is inevitable. Against the backdrop of SWAN, the ATLAS object looks like a lightweight drone next to an armored cruiser. Spectroscopy data from ATLAS stunned the scientific world. A hull of pure nickel without iron impurities, an alloy found only in industry, not in nature. Internal sensors registered a reactor with a power output of 10 gigawatts, and its tail behaved like a controlled jet thrust, not the result of passive outgassing. In the case of SWAN, all these anomalies are magnified many times over, transforming the mystery into a direct and inescapable threat. As it approached the Sun, Atlas's tail flared with a ruby-red light, instantly shifting to an emerald hue at the precise moment of its trajectory correction. Avi Loeb termed this thrust modulation. The craft was adjusting its impulse as temperature increased, with the color change serving as visual proof. While Atlas was already alarming, the real shock was delivered by the next object, SWAN-R2. Loeb's team recorded a silvery plasma shield enveloping a nickel-cobalt hull that surpasses Atlas by orders of magnitude in both size and might. This is not passive protection, but a dynamic electromagnetic curtain with incomprehensible energy levels, capable of deflecting the solar wind and reflecting radiation far more effectively than any solid armor. Swan's tail spans 2 full degrees of the sky, comparable to the width of 5 moons, and absorbs one's gaze like a giant blade slicing through the darkness. As Swan neared perihelion, its glow exploded in a white-green flame. At that same instant, Loeb's instruments detected subtle thrust pulses, evidence of a super-precise plasma guidance system. Its exhaust is a dense mixture of nickel and cobalt plasma intermixed with carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, a signature Loeb considers impossible without a controlled plasma engine. But the true horror lies in its core. If 3I/ATLAS shocked the world with its 10-gigawatt reactor, the plasma heart of SWAN emits over 10,000 gigawatts per second. Loeb compares this energy to that of two colliding black holes contained within a single machine. Atlas was merely a scout, he states. Swan R2 is a fortress, a vessel of nickel-cobalt plasma with an energy core that defies imagination and could revise the very foundations of physics. When NASA and Jet Propulsion Laboratory (JPL) scientists calculated its orbit, the conclusion stunned even skeptics. Swan R2 returns on a cycle lasting approximately 22,540 years, as if following an invisible schedule. This is not a one-time flyby, but a visitor with a cycle extending beyond all of recorded human history. Its closest approach to the Sun will occur in October, the same month 3I/ATLAS reaches its own perihelion. Two anomalous objects will pass within days of each other, one on a hyperbolic trajectory, the other on a closed 22,000-year loop. For Loeb, the question has changed. This is not the same object. It is a unified system. His team is convinced Swan R2 is not a comet, but an automated probe launched by a civilization millions of years older than ours. For them, such an orbit around a star is routine patrol. At near-light speeds, time flows differently for the traveler. Loeb hypothesizes that each orbital encounter could be part of a planned maintenance cycle. Perhaps the craft collects superheated solar plasma as fuel, adjusts giant sensor networks hidden among planets, or downloads data from secret stations in the asteroid belt, beneath polar ice, or deep within planetary crusts. It might inspect parked vessels, update navigational beacons, or recalculate stellar charts. For it, the Sun is both a potent energy source and a beacon. The 22,000-year interval gives the universe enough time to accumulate new data before the next visit. This could be scheduled technical maintenance, refueling, or a massive data upload to a remote stellar network. What seems to us an eternal mystery is, for them, a standard service operation. Refuel, update, retrieve data, and depart again on a schedule as ancient as civilization itself. There is another version. Loeb adds, Swan R2 arrived because of 3I/ATLAS. If ATLAS was a scout, then SWAN could be a heavy retriever, sent to collect its data, recover its power module, or eliminate it before humans get too close. Some envision an ancient conflict, two ships from rival civilizations converging at our star to control a colossal energy source. Solar fields and gravity could be the key to stabilizing wormholes or powering intergalactic networks. What we call sunlight is fuel for them. Archaeologist Graham Hancock adds a layer of dread. The last time Swan R2 flew by was roughly 22,000 years ago at the end of the last ice age, when humanity suddenly began erecting monoliths and creating the first star charts. His theory, pyramids and ancient calendars are not random symbols, but echoes of those visits. In his model, ancient builders could have been recording celestial cycles, marking the arrival of the strangers with stone. Shafts and pyramids pointing to Orion, ancient calendars tracking precession. Perhaps these are not cultural coincidences, but warnings and instructions transmitted across millennia, from when the last great guest scarred the sky with a tail 5 moons wide. This version explains the incredible precision of ancient structures, the sudden emergence of agriculture and mathematics, the early civilization's obsession with the sun. If SWAN-R2's route has remained unchanged for tens of millennia, the pyramid builders could have seen it with their own eyes, blazing above the horizon. But Loeb disagrees with this romantic interpretation and poses an obvious question. Why now? After centuries of silence, 3 cosmic anomalies, Oumuamua, 3I/ATLAS, and now SWAN-R2, have appeared within a single decade. Loeb believes this may be a response to us ourselves. For half a century, humanity has been broadcasting its presence into the universe. Radio and TV signals, powerful radar pulses, the Arecibo message, the Voyager golden records, a slowly expanding sphere of data. Today, these signals have reached dozens of nearby star systems. Perhaps this swelling wave of informational noise reached the intended recipients. Their reaction was not a single dispatch, but an entire sequence. First, the stealth scout Oumuamua in 2017. Next, the nickel-hulled 3I/ATLAS with its nuclear heart. Now, the Fortress of Silvery Plasma SWANR2 with power comparable to a black hole collision. Loeb is convinced. This is no coincidence, but part of an ancient observation program awakened by our own signals. He suggests our transmissions may have activated a dormant protocol or restored an ancient surveillance network. What we call comets might be machines checking on a young civilization that dared to shout into the cosmos. The Voyager Golden Record was a greeting. These visitors are the reply. Their emergence from behind the solar glare is a reminder of how fragile our observation system is and how easily something colossal could remain unnoticed until a collision. What is frightening is not only the object but the silence surrounding it. No government, no space agency in the US or Europe treats this discovery as a shared concern. Official voices maintain a tomb-like silence, as if less said means less responsibility. But the sky is not silent. SWANR 2 and 3, I/ATLAS are not comets. They are signals pointing to the limits of our categories and the necessity for new conceptual frameworks. This feels like the beginning of an ancient drama. The portents are already here, yet the chorus prefers silence. By ignoring the omen, we risk missing the lesson the universe is imparting. Space will not wait. It is speaking, even if we are not listening. So which version seems more plausible? Scheduled technical maintenance of a star fleet, a multi-million-year-old surveillance network, or a direct response to our radio signals?